Judica County is brought to you by Whitaker and Hamer, attorneys and counselors at law, your law firm for life.
Judica County Radio, Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer, managing partners and practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. You can find them at Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm, your law firm for life. Offices located Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay, Varina, Gastonia, and in Morehead City. If you got a legal situation, you can always call the firm, 800-659-1186. You've got a question, you need some answers, call the firm, 800-659-1186. Leave your contact information, briefly what the call is about, and an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer will be in touch. And you can email your questions to the show, info, that's I-N-F-O, at judicacounty.com. That's info at judicacounty.com. Mystery questions, here we go. Josh, take it away.
All right. So how many we've done? We've done 4 or 5? 4. I think it's 4.
I'm going to count that as a mystery question.
All right. So we've got it. This is an interesting mystery question. So this really isn't a fact pattern. This is more of just a question about a legal thing. And so our listener here is asking, what is unjust enrichment?
What is unjust enrichment? So basically, unjust enrichment would apply in a situation where you have something that has been done, some service has been done, and there's value for that service, and the court agrees that there's value for that service, but there was no contract in place at the time the service was performed. I'm gonna give you
the example my law professor gave me when we talked today in contracts, first semester contracts. We were talking about unjust enrichment, and unjust enrichment. The way he did this to us, his example was, let's say you're a painter, and you go out and you've got this address written down, and you're going to paint the house. And it's a weekday, everybody's at work. You go to this address and you paint the house, and everything looks good. You're all done. You wrap up. You find out your bill's not paid, and come to find out you had the wrong address. You painted the wrong house.
Ouch!
So you had a contract with the next door neighbor to paint their house. You didn't do it. It was your own mistake, and you went and you painted somebody's house who didn't hire you. Maybe it needed paint. Maybe it looks great. Maybe you did the best job you've ever done, but that person did not contract with you to get their house painted. But you can't take the loss on this. You gotta do something. And in this scenario, the painter sued the house owner that got painted for, couldn't sue him for breach of contract because there was no contract. There was no written contract. There was no verbal agreement. These people didn't know each other. So he sued him for unjust enrichment, which is basically a legal theory saying, hey, I did some stuff. You got the benefit of it. You haven't paid for it. I'm out money. That's basically what unjust enrichment says. And I always like that example.
Yeah. You always talk about unjust enrichment. This is what I remember from law school. We would always talk about quantum merit. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Which is the reasonable value of the benefit conferred. I think that's the way they described it. That always stuck with me. I thought it was a cool word. Never get to use it. I'm using it right now though.
Well, I think that
counts.
A lot of times it's a backup claim. If you're suing somebody for breach of contract, or you don't have the best written contract, or you've got like a verbal contract, it's kind of like a backup claim.
It's pay me the fair amount for what I've done for you.
Well, now, and what is the fair amount? You haven't agreed to amount, right?
Yep.
So that's going to be something that gets litigated. What is the reasonably fair amount?
Yeah. Anytime you're talking about something like that, and you're talking about the court making that determination, we're talking about 9 times out of 10, we're talking about a reasonableness standard. What is reasonable?
The average.
I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
But you're going to evidence as to what is reasonable, and the
That's
court's going to make a determination.
Yeah. And I think in our example where the homeowner didn't ask for the service, that person's going to have a hard time.
It's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
Versus, and then you're talking about something as subjective as paint. And, there's that's a trickier situation.
Yeah, so that's an unjust enrichment. It's kind of a backup claim. Like if I don't have any other claims at all, I painted the house, and that has a value, and then you argue about the value. But this case is probably a loser for our painter in our example.
So your guy always used the paint in the house. My guy, my professor, whoever he may have been, he would always use the cutting the grass. That was his scenario. Somebody cutting your grass. I feel like that's easier than painting your whole house.
Yeah, painting your whole house, you have to suspend some disbelief. Now with like ring doorbells and stuff.
Yeah.
But what are
you gonna do? You're gonna tell them to stop? If they're painting, but if they're cutting your grass,
well, I think that changes the facts. I think if you're aware of it, you allow it to continue. Now, I think you're looking at maybe having to fork over some money.
They got this guy. There's this guy on YouTube, and he just goes around and he just finds the worst yards.
Oh, I've seen.
You've seen that guy? Yeah, and he offers to do it for free. That'd be a pretty sick hustle to go and do it, and then sue him for unjust enrichment.
Yeah, he does that. He does good work. That guy.
He does do good work, man, and it's very satisfying. Like, I wouldn't want to do it. I would do it if my body wouldn't hurt after. Like, I had unlimited energy and time. Like, it looks like it would be a very worthwhile thing to do, but I don't have those things.
And who would have? This always surprises me, man. The people that think of these angles to get popular on social media. I mean, this guy is a good landscaper. He has arguably a successful landscaping business, and he's just started doing this to bring attention to his business, right? And then we both seen this guy.
Yeah, maybe, unless there's like a bunch of guys doing it.
Well, maybe there is a bunch of guys.
The same guy, man. This is the guy. This guy. He's out there shoveling. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I like that guy. That guy's good, man. Get that guy on the show.
Well, people never trust him either when he's telling them.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, yeah, these are the, no disrespect to these people, but if these are the people that their yards are,
they're real bad.
Man, they're real bad yards, and so they're probably a little embarrassed, and they know he's filming it, but yeah, they never believe him, dude. They never do. He has to really sell them on that idea. It's probably because they're listeners of the show and they've been listening to us talk about quantum Merowit.
That's right.
They just don't want to get stuck with one of those quantum Merowit claims.
They're learning a lot of.
But in that case, they're bargaining, and the bargain is he's offering to do it for free. So
Well, and there's so many scams out there, guys. I can understand why people are like, "What? No."
Oh yeah.
They don't want to believe that it's complimentary.
We had a storm come through not too long ago. It was like last year. We had that straight windstorm. It blew off my roof was getting old. Blew off a lot of shingles, and I had a roofer every day coming by. Like, hey man, your roof looks real bad.
You got to respect that hustle, man. You got to respect that hustle, dude. The funny thing is, I'm not even kidding you, man. This is a true story. I don't even know any roofers, and I swear to you, someone was like talking about your house, like some random roofer guy. I was like, they've been trying to get up with your friend Josh for a while now. That's a true story. I can't remember who told me that.
So we had a really bad looking roof for about 30 days, and it was the talk of the town there.
But you had every roofer on the planet trying to come fix it for you too.
All right. Next mystery question. So this guy's got a joint account. Does it say who it's with?
All right.
Oh, it's his parents. So this guy and his parents have a joint account. And his parents took all the money out of the joint account, and he's wanting to know what he can do about it. I'm going to change the fact pattern to make it even more.
Sue your parents.
I'm gonna say it's just two. It's just a couple.
Okay.
It's just two people, and they've got one joint account. Maybe they fund it to pay their bills. They got one joint account. It's got money in it. One of the they go their separate ways, and somebody cleans it out. What can the other person do about it? That's the question I think this is.
All right. I was with you with the parents, right? And then you started adding.
I changed it.
My head started spinning.
I changed it. You got just a couple.
Okay.
Just two people who live together.
Yep.
Let's say they got a joint account. They fund it to pay bills, things like that.
Both on the account.
Yeah. And one of them, they break up. One of them cleans it out.
Okay.
The one who didn't get any money is what can they do about it?
What can they do about it? That's what I'd look at. What can you do about it? It's a joint account, brother.
Yeah, even if it was all your money.
Yeah, it's a joint account, man. You and in the absence of some like miscellaneous agreement between the two of you that I'm not aware that anyone's got, it's a joint account, man. You've got equal right to the money.
Yeah, so there's nothing criminal here. It's not something you could call the cops on. This person didn't steal anything. They were on the account. They're entitled to every bit of money that's in there, even if they didn't put any of it in. Now you might have a civil action, right? You could definitely sue that person and say, hey, this was from my inheritance and you didn't earn any of this and none of this was yours. But
even that's going to be tricky, right?
I think it's tricky, but I think it's
doable.
It's a legitimate claim.
Yeah.
Well, the theory is, that guy's already gone with your $100,000.
That's
even
exactly.
Even if you win, what
do you get from them? Yeah. That's why you don't put these people on your accounts. That's where we start at.
Yeah, you got to be real careful about making a joint account with somebody.
I agree. I agree with that.
We answered that one too quick. That one went fast.
That was fast.
My practical advice for these people is don't do that. Don't do that out of the gate. Don't do it early. And then do you ever really know someone? Do you ever really know your live-in boyfriend that you put on your account, and he takes your parents' $100,000 of inheritance money and he goes to Tijuana, Mexico? I'm
gonna tell my boys, if that ever happens, I will come back and haunt you for your stupidity.
Yeah, man. We should haunt our children anyways. I think that's something we should plan on.
They need the guidance.
I don't know. I have a feeling all your kids are going to be forewarned on a number of different issues. I'm just guessing. guessing
about my ghost popping up at every turn. Don't do that.
All right, Judica County. Well, you're listening. It's Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer, managing partners, Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm, practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. Your law firm for life. Office is located in Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay, Varina, Gastonia, and in Morehead City. If you've got a legal situation, you need answers to your questions, you can always call the firm. 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186. Leave your contact info, briefly what that call is about, and an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer will be in touch. And you can always email the show, info@judicacounty.com. That's info@judicacounty.com. We're back on the other side to wrap up another edition of Judica County Radio.